Senator Murkowski.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your contributions here before the committee. I wasn't here when Senator Baldwin was asking her question, but we visited outside, and I felt both of us made some pretty good progress with the National Apprenticeship Act that we had worked on in the previous Congress. And one of the things that I had really taken away from the lead up to the introduction of that bill, I reached out to our unions around the state of Alaska. I reached out to those that have apprenticeship programs, and I said, what's really the big challenge here when it comes to apprenticeships in a state like Alaska that is not only rural, it's really rural. And so one of the things that we heard, and we heard it repeated, was a shortage of what we will call wraparound services. And it's everything from childcare, it's everything, I need to take care of an aging parent, it's education, it's housing, it's all the things that go into those barriers that keep someone from completing their apprenticeship training. And so I'd throw this out. You know, you've got shipbuilding here, you've got different interests represented, you've got some of our unions here. Is this an issue beyond just the state of Alaska? Can the federal government be helpful in ensuring that those who have the interest, those that have the talent, are going to be able to participate in some of these programs, or do you just have to kind of figure it out on your own? And if you're lucky enough to be able to do that, but if you all can weigh in on that. Now, I'm not going to identify anybody to go first. Whoever wants to weigh in, go ahead, Mr. Downey.
Thank you, Senator. I would just point out two areas I think that the federal government can help, and it's already been discussed today, and that would be in the pre-apprenticeship world, where we can attract the younger generation to come into the trades. Somebody had mentioned Job Corps. The IUOE runs 10 Job Corps centers in the United States. We had 300 graduates last year, and of those 300, we put 40% of those into our apprenticeship programs. So I think there's an opportunity there to attract younger people.
Okay. Anybody else? Mr. Laney?
Yes, Senator Murkowski, I would say that Alabama has a lot of similarities there. We are rural, not as rural as Alaska, but we do face some of those same challenges with wraparound services. The integration, registered apprenticeship is the only program that automatically qualifies for WIOA, go on the ETPL, eligible training provider list. The integration of those two things is not effective right now. There's money there. It's too difficult for the employers to access. Many of them would rather just not fool with it because it's not, the juice is not worth the squeeze, as we say. So we need to work on those integrations of existing programs so that we can take advantage of WIOAs there for those wraparound services exactly. Registered apprenticeship doesn't need to try to take that on independently. We need to address that with the existing programs.
Good. Let me go ahead, Mr.
No, I would just add to that real quick. Some of the wraparound services, child care tax credit is helpful to get people to allow to afford child care where they're gone. We, as a union, have embraced and embarked upon providing a maternity leave policy for our female laborers who have been working to make sure that they don't have a choice between they or their baby's health and their career, that we're going to pay for them for while they're out. And the last thing I would say is sign a collective bargaining agreement. There's no disparity between a man and a woman, race, color, creed, anything like that. When you're working under a collective bargaining agreement, your wage is defined in that agreement, and that is a pathway and a way to participate.
Let me ask another question. We are a state where we've been very keenly focused on oil production, and that has been our backbone for a while. But we are also a state that recognizes that we've got an all-of-the-above energy opportunity, but how we build out that workforce. So you've got workers who are very skilled in the oil and gas field, but we also need them to be equally skilled when it comes to wind turbines, solar projects. How do we make sure that you've got this nimbleness, I don't know if that's a word, but the ability to be nimble between between the training programs, again, for what we would say it's all of the above in the energy world? Mr. Booker?
Yeah, I'll start with, I mean, the first thing that we have, us, the operating engineers, the UA, and the Teamsters have a joint training facility in Fairbanks that is specific to pipeline, 88 acres.
We're very excited and very pleased about it.
I was there at the end of February, and that's another barrier to work on a pipeline. Go up on the North Slope in February, and that's going to be a barrier to entry as well. But
It just proves what your mettle is.
yeah, exactly. So, but you have those training facilities that you do that we jointly train with, and then our training curriculum is based off of training a laborer to be effective in all fields of construction. So a construction craft laborer gets training across industries so that they do have the skill sets they need, whether they're going to work on a pipeline or whether they're going to work on a wind or a solar farm. They can go back to that school if they need a very specific 20, 30, 40-hour class, but the general registered apprenticeship training that we provide them is that they are a well-rounded and a skilled laborer that can perform, they can produce safely, productively, and quickly across the industry.
Versatility. Thank you, Mr.
Senator
Chairman.
Murkowski, can I just say State Apprenticeship Agency? State Apprenticeship Agency. Your people in Alaska are looking at this idea already. That gives you exactly the kind of local control, flexibility to meet that varied need that you have, so that you in Alaska can say, these are our unique challenges with a registered apprenticeship program. That's what we need across the country. Every state needs to be in control of their own destiny for these things.
Thank you for adding that.